there I am. So I'm live on StreamYard and Instagram. I have to do a little separately. So if you see me looking up, looking down, I am looking at two different screens. One is below the other. Hello, welcome. Welcome to our Big Kids Back to School. Come on, having trouble streaming to Facebook. Facebook, get with the program. We had this problem last week. I thought I resolved it by reconnecting my Facebook. You know what? We're just gonna creating a new broadcast. I'm not gonna do that because just close to screen. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. We'll remove the Facebook broadcast right now. So I don't know. Can I do that? I don't know. We'll see if that works with the tech. I don't know. Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Are we live? I don't know. So the whole thing about doing live videos, hey, let's get practice doing live videos because tech happens, right? Okay, so we are here, week four. I can't believe it's the 4th week of August. I'm really bright. How's this? Is that bright enough on, yeah, that's okay. We're okay. I'm just really bright on Instagram. So if we're a little, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll do that. A little bit of lighting for us here. All right. So week 4 is week 4 of August, week 4 of my Big Kids Back to School live video series. Today, we are talking about stress. Yay, stress. We're talking about stress, and I had it in the event description as address your stress before distress or whatever, liking the rhyming thing. As I was kind of prepping for what I wanted to share with you today, I came up with stress self-defense because that's really what we're doing. We're trying to be proactive about meeting our stress where we are and being able to handle it when it comes up. So part of self-defense is being prepared, right? Stress. Oh yes, we're talking about stress, and this one's specifically for students. But I know that some of us, like Wendy, are dealing with stress as well. So this is specifically, we're getting ready for back to school. I just bought school supplies the other day. Yay! And that's stressful because it took me all day to figure out what do I have, what do I need, all the things. So we're talking about stress. Stress, what is that? Wendy, that's an excellent question because here's my first point. What's stress? Yeah, what is it? It's that feeling of overwhelm, of anxiousness. We can feel it in our body, the feeling that I should be doing more, or what I'm doing isn't going to work or isn't working, or whatever is going on. So stress comes up. We're all familiar with it. We're gonna look a little bit deeper on that, and then we're gonna talk about why it happens, what it does to us, and how can we actually use stress response to help us. Because I'm all about making our foes into friends, and that's sort of the thing with self-defense is a lot of times it does end up using the momentum of our enemy or our attacker against them. So if we can turn the stress around and see it in a different way, then the idea is to handle it more effectively so that we can move more successfully through the start of the school year and the academic stuff that's going to be coming up. So first part, what is it? Let's identify it. It's called stress. There's all sorts of physiological and biological and technical ways to talk about what is actually happening in the body when we are stressed, when we are under stress. That is, like the hormone cortisol. Maybe we've heard of that. Is something where if we have the cortisol actually helps us to do our flight, fight, or freeze response, comes from that cortisol response. I think it's the amygdala of the brain. I don't know all of these things, but you know what I'm talking about. And you can find all this information, right? So it is a stress response in the body. And that is how we identify. That's what's biologically happening? How do we identify it? We got to be in our bodies. We got to notice it. What does it feel like in your body when you're stressed? Sometimes it's short of breath. Sometimes it's, I feel really tired for no reason. Or everybody's going to respond a little bit differently based on who you are and how your body is, how your nervous system is at any given moment. I know sometimes my stress response looks very different from other times just based on what my mental or emotional state is. Have I been taking care of myself? Have I been being creative? Well, then when stress comes up, it feels a little different. It's just a little tingle or a little warmth instead of a full-on panic attack and shortness of breath and a, devastatingly tired moment. So think about what stress feels like for you in your body. And again, there could be a variation there. And here's the thing about stress is what it's actually trying to do, what this response in our body, it's that fight, flight, freeze, fawn. It's like all of those things is meant to keep us safe. Our brain's always looking out for ways that we're in danger. Our brain wants to keep us safe. So the stress response is made to, beat up our attacker, fight, flight, run away, like get to safety, freeze, like that whole like playing possum, play dead so that they leave me alone. Or fawn is, I'm going to make them feel really, really good so that they don't look at me. So those are all responses that are designed to keep us safe. And in our world where stress is not a physical danger, you're going to die situation, we need to understand that our body actually thinks that we are going to die when we respond with a stress response. So the question for you, especially my students out there who are getting ready or have already started school, what are some of your biggest stress triggers? Is it when you take tests? Is it when you have a paper due and you procrastinate? Is it when everybody looks at you when you give an answer in class? What are those situations, those circumstances, those triggers that make you feel that butterflies in the stomach or the heart palpitations or the heat rising in your cheeks or that physical response? When you can identify that, then you can start to address it, address the stress, like I said. When you're aware of what's happening, you bring that awareness to the body, what's happening in my body, and then you can start to practice some of the techniques that bring it down. And I talked about some of these stress relief techniques last week. So go back to my YouTube channel. I don't think Facebook worked last week. YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn. LinkedIn for any of those. YouTube's probably the easiest. Or send me an email. I'll send it to you. What was I talking about? Oh, the stress relief. The stress relief techniques that we discussed for parents to model for their students, and for everybody to practice together. There's a few simple ones that I shared. One of them is breathing techniques, the simple box breathing. Inhale for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count, exhale for a 4 count, and hold for a 4 count. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4, and do it 4 times. Then we're in a 4x4x4 box, right? The box breathing. Very simple, very quick to do. Nobody has to know that you're doing it. It gives you something to focus on. Physical activity, just getting up, moving your body. I like to stand up and just kind of shake sometimes, do, something physical, go for a walk, get body moving. That's another stress lowering technique. And I know the gamers in the group here love to go tell each other to go touch grass. When you find you're getting too trolling, too things are getting a little too intense, a little too real, go touch grass. It is scientifically proven to improve your mood, reset your nervous system. Go touch grass or look at water or again, just be in the fresh air. It resets your system. So those are a few quick tips to manage stress when it comes up. The idea of bringing all this awareness around what are your triggers and what does stress do in your particular body, that is going to help you actually prevent it. Knowing your triggers. If it's test taking, what do you need to do to shift how you take that test or your approach to test taking? If you are constantly telling yourself, I'm not a good test taker. I freeze up when I'm given a test. I can't work under pressure. I don't do well with timers. The first step is honestly changing your language around that. I talk about this with my clients a lot with changing the language. Looks like they can get in a little delay on the comments. Stress, self-defense, exactly. So, and coming around back to the stress, self-defense, Wendy left a comment, that liking that term. The thing about stress, self-defense, or any self-defense is awareness. That's the first key. You're not walking down the street with your head in your phone and your earphones on. You are aware of your surroundings. And that's the first step. So this awareness around what are my triggers? What does stress do to my body? So that if you just notice, oh, my body's feeling this way, my heart's beating faster. Interesting. Sometimes that's a stress response. It's a signal to you that there might be something going on. So that awareness is the first foundational piece. And when you can then take that understanding of your trigger, the example I used was taking a test or being timed. That is something, again, you can start changing the language around. Because here's the secret, and maybe you've heard this before, but maybe you haven't. Stress and excitement, same physiological sensation. Like there's a lot of overlap there in how the body responds to nervousness and excitement, or stress and excitement, fear and excitement. So if you can start to change the language around what you're feeling in the body, my heart's beating faster. I'm feeling all warm. I must be excited. Oh, this will be a good challenge for me. And start to see it as an opportunity to grow, to learn something about yourself, even if you still kind of have that panic breathing the whole way through the test, understanding like, I get to see what I'm made of. I get this opportunity to evaluate my knowledge or my performance. Starting to treat it as excitement. You might not believe it at first, but starting to explore and step into the possibility that it could also be excitement. That is a powerful invitation to be proactive about that stress response. Another question I love to ask, especially when people are stressed out because of things outside their control. Hi, raise your hand if you've ever experienced the consequences of something outside of your control. Yeah, me too. Things are outside our control. Like if there's anything we have learned over the last few years, we can't control everything. What we can control is our response. And a lot of the time, there's the question. The question I love to ask, because we are expert storytellers. I see Kyle watching, and Kylan is a fantastic storyteller. We all are storytellers every moment of every day. Every moment of every day, Kyle says, words are so important. And I do emphasize this a lot with my clients, and I'm sure that she does too. Words are so important, especially what we tell ourselves, but especially what we choose to take in too. And when we're being, attacked, bombarded by things, the consequences, the fallout of things that are beyond our control, we start telling ourselves a story. Oh, that person is a bully. Oh, that person bullies me, and I've been singled out because they don't like me. And that can cause a lot of stress, especially in a workplace. There's drama in a workplace, drama at school. If you're starting to tell stories about people, check it. Is that story true? And the question I actually prefer, because when I say, is it true? A lot of people are like, well, yeah, it's true. They're a bully. Duh. A question I really like to ask is, what else could be true? Because it invites us into that space to start to think differently about another person or an external situation beyond our control. What else could be true? And I mean, even if you're watching the news or learning something in class, what else could be true about that situation that's causing me stress? Well, what else could be true? Because when you invite yourself into play in that space, it can actually be fun. You get excited, take on your stress, right? So that is a super effective way to proactively address your stress. That's self-defense awareness, right? The last piece I just want to touch on is finding support. If you find that you're not able to implement these tools and techniques for yourself on your own, guess what, people? We live in a society. We live in a community. You have parents, you have teachers, you have coaches, you have counselors who love you and care about you and want you to succeed in school, at work, in the activities that you're pursuing. They want you to succeed. And again, we touched on this a couple weeks ago in my live about how to ask for help without feeling like a fool. Like, go back and watch that because I go into that a lot. Mainly, it's, sharing your new awareness. I'm aware that this thing stresses me out. Can you help me come up with some ideas to lower the stress of that situation or that experience? And 9 times out of 10, anyone you ask for that kind of help, they'll be like, what support do you need? I would be happy to give you reminders or give you a pep talk or write you a note or tell you what you're actually really strong at that I see and help you believe it and help you come up with different ways to talk to yourself. Whatever you need. I said a lot of whatevers. Whatever you need. Support is important. We are connected. We are in community with each other. We are coming down to, I don't want to go more than 20 minutes. So we are coming up to the end of this Big Kid Back to School Stress Self-Defense Live. If you have questions, make sure you drop them in the comments because I talk fast and I go through a lot of stuff. And I just want to do the too long didn't watch version. All right, so we're going to summarize what I just said. For stress self-defense, we're going to identify and become aware what stress looks like and feels like to you and what those stress triggers tend to be. Look back at your patterns, see what that looks like. Incorporate some simple stress management tools. Go touch grass, do your box breathing, do some physical activity. Plan ahead, be proactive, talk to yourself differently, understand that stress and excitement can feel the same in the body. There's a lot of overlap there. So if you start telling yourself about the opportunities in front of you, how excited you are instead of how overwhelmed and stressed and anxious I am, there's a whole different energy. Oh, I'm excited. There's a smile. There's an uplifting with the excitement words. Okay. Last piece, get support. We talked last week about how parents can help you, students, to tap into the resources around you, on-campus resources, school counselors, activities, groups, organizations that you can connect with to find the people who can uplift you and support you in these efforts. And guess what? There's teachers, coaches, counselors. Hi, I'm a coach. If you are already feeling stressed and overwhelmed about your school year, we need to talk as soon as possible. I'm going to put that thing up. Where is it? There's my little ticker, sarahdeacon.com/hello. We need to talk. If you are already feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious about the upcoming fall season, whether you're going back to school or not, honestly, we need to talk, because this is exactly how I help my clients. We talk about your language, your stress triggers, your tactics to overcoming the fear and anxiety that comes up for you. It's all custom. So let's talk if you're having trouble with that. Next week, I am going to be back for one last Big Kids Back to School live video. We are going live Monday afternoon at 3:30. Monday afternoon at 3:30, we are going live again. So please join me for our last August Big Kids Back to School video series live video. Will be on LinkedIn, YouTube. Hopefully Facebook is working and Instagram as usual. And go ahead and book that Adult Successfully Strategy session with the link below, sarahdeacon.com/hello for Instagram users, you poor folks who can't click a link. Anyway, I will be back on Monday to do the last Big Kids Back to School video series. Here's the sneak preview. We've talked about it all before. I said TLDW. You've heard TLDR, too long, didn't read. TLDW, too long, didn't watch. I did 4 20-minute videos on a bunch of this stuff. I'm going to do one 20-minute video about all the things that we covered next week. So join me, invite your friends, let them know they need this information. Parents, teens, you got this. I'm here for you. I'm cheering you on. You need support, sarahdeacon.com/hello, because we are all connected. We are in community. You do not need to do all this stuff alone. Yeah. Love it. See you next time.